What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So, I came across something, a story with some details that you need to know about that is one of, if not the biggest problem in America and really the world right now. Take a look at this and let me know your thoughts. What you'll pay in every US state in hidden homeowner costs. Quote, it's like buying a used car every single year. If you're thinking about buying a home, you might want to tack on an extra $1,510 as part of your estimated monthly expenses. You might be thinking, what? That's how much the average hidden costs of homeownership will set you back for a median price US home of $436,291, according to a new analysis by Bankrate. That works out to $18,118 annually. Think $18,000 on top of what you'd already owe for mortgage payments. Hidden costs, including property taxes, homeowners insurance, home maintenance costs, as well as electricity, internet, cable bills per Bankrate study. And these costs aren't fixed already, as they have risen by 26% in the last 4 years. And honestly, I think that 26% might be low because property taxes have been skyrocketing here as lately. And even if you're not a homeowner, if you're a wannabe homeowner, you want to buy a home here coming up soon, or you're a renter, you need to take note of this as well because this is why rents are going up so much. And obviously, if you want to buy a home, you need to know about this here as well, because this is very relevant news. This is really relevant for everybody, for homeowners, for renters, and for people who want to be homeowners. Take a listen to this. The hidden costs of owning a home are at the same level as buying a used car every single year, which is insane to me. You can let me know your thoughts. Says Bankrate analyst Jeff Ostrowski. Considering that these costs grow over time, you'll need a cushion in your monthly budget to afford them. While many online mortgage calculators include property taxes and homeowners insurance, which homeowner insurance everywhere, homeowners insurance, car insurance, every type of insurance has been going up crazy here as lately as well, as part of a bundled mortgage payment estimate. But not all mortgage calculators include these costs. And most calculators exclude other hidden costs like repairs or utilities. As such, at least some of these hidden costs can be overlooked when budgeting for a new home. This can result in homeowners spending all of their spare cash on home expenses, which can make most of them house poor. Let me know if you've heard that term or if you are house poor. Now, hidden costs can vary widely per state, and I'm going to show you the costs per state here. You can let me know how your state varies compared to these other states, which I'll show you here each state. In states with some of the highest home prices in the country, Hawaii, California, Massachusetts, and so on, average annual hidden costs total more than $26,000 per year. I have a chart here which will show each and every state, which in a second here, which is over $2,100 per month, $26,000 a year. Remember, it wasn't that long ago when I feel like making like $40,000 or $50,000 a year was a decent wage. Now you got to make $26,000, $30,000 just to pay the hidden costs of a home, not even the mortgage payment. However, there is a big spread between states, especially in the Southeast, where homes are cheaper. In Kentucky, the hidden costs, which remember includes property taxes, homeowners insurance, home maintenance costs, as well as electricity, internet, and cable. To calculate these average hidden costs, the study used various data sources for each expense to determine 2024 prices. Some amounts were adjusted using consumer price indexes. Bank rates analysis doesn't include other possible hidden costs like PMI, private mortgage insurance, which you have to pay if you don't put enough money for a down payment, HOA fees, which you may have to pay as well, pest control and closing costs if you buy a home. So the total expense could be even higher than estimates provided. Here's a look at the cost per state. Alabama, over $12,000 a year, which is over $1,000 a month. Alaska, over $18,000 a year, which is over $1,500 a month. Arizona, over $16,000 a year, which is over $1,300 a month. Arkansas, pretty low, which is over $11,000 a year, almost $1,000 a month. California, one of the highest, almost $29,000 a year. Yikes. That is almost $2,400 a month. So imagine you made $30,000 a year. You couldn't even afford the extra fees on a home in California. That is insane. Colorado, $21,000 a year just for the extra fees on a home, which is about $1,700 a month. Connecticut, $23,500-ish a year, almost $2,000 a month. Delaware, almost $15,000 a year, over $1,200 a month. Florida, over $19,000 a year, almost $1,600 a month, $1,599, almost on the nose. Georgia, over $16,000 a year, $1,333. Hawaii, over $29,000 a year, $2,400 a month. They're the highest, just beating out California by a nose. Hawaii, understandably so, the cost of paradise. They're in the middle of the ocean, so they have some extra costs because they're way out there. If you've ever been to Hawaii, it's kind of worth it. So let me know if you've been to Hawaii. I love Hawaii. Aloha. Idaho, $16,000, $1,350 a month. Illinois, over $16,000, $1,350 a month. Indiana, pretty low, $12,259, over $1,000 a month. Iowa, middle of the country, seems to be pretty low, over 12,000, still, over $1,000 a month just for miscellaneous stuff. Kansas, over 14,000, again, over 1,000 a month. Kentucky, one of the lowest, 11,500, 963 for round numbers. Louisiana, about 12,500, over 1,000 a month. Maine, over 17,000, 1,426 a month. Again, these are round estimated numbers. Your numbers will vary per house. Maryland, almost 20,000 a year, 1,643. Massachusetts, very high, over 26,000 a year. I think their property taxes are very high over there. 20, almost 2,200 a month. Michigan, 1,300, pretty low. 1,100 a month still. I remember when you used to be able to get, a whole apartment, very nice apartment for 1,100 a month. Now, if you had a home, you're paying that just an extra cost per month. Property taxes, internet, home insurance, utilities. I mean, that's just expensive. And then remember, this is one of the lowest states. One of the lowest states. Yikes. Minnesota, 16,000 extra a year, 1,350. Mississippi, almost a 12 grand, 990 a month. Missouri, over 12,000, 1,053. Montana, over 18,000, 1,500. Nebraska, almost 15,000, 1,246. Nevada, over 16,000, 1,386. New Hampshire, pretty expensive, over 23,000, almost 2,000 a month. New Jersey over 25,000. That's pretty expensive. I think they have very high property taxes there. Over 2,000 a month. New Mexico, pretty cheap there, but still 13,000 a year, over 1,000 a month. New York, pretty expensive there, 22,000, almost 23,000. 1,900 a month. North Carolina, 14,600, 1,200 a month. North Dakota, 13,000, 1,100 a month. Ohio, pretty cheap, 12,975, over 1,000 a month. Oklahoma, pretty cheap, 1,200, almost 13,000, 12,000, almost 13,000, a little bit over 1,000 a month. Oregon, almost 20,000, 1,600 a month. Pennsylvania, 15,000 for round numbers, 1,249. Rhode Island, 22,000. It's kind of up there, pretty high, 1,800 a month. South Carolina, 15,000, 1,250. South Dakota, almost 15,000, 1,200 a month. Tennessee, a little bit under 15,000, 1,200 a month. Texas, not as low as it could be for Texas. 18,000 a year, 1,500 a month. They could be lower. Utah, 19,000. I would have thought Utah would have been a little lower. 1,600 a month. Vermont, almost 20,000, 1,650. Virginia, 17,600, almost 1,500. Washington, pretty expensive there. 23,300, almost 2,000 a month. West Virginia, very cheap in comparison. Still over 1,000 a month. Wisconsin, 14,500, 1,200 a month. Wisconsin, 15,000 and 1,285. So basically, when you look at these, the cheapest states still $1,000 or more in extra costs for a home. Extra costs. This is not even including your mortgage payment. Okay. And the most expensive homes, over $2,000 a month in addition to your mortgage payment. So, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I mean, um, and don't get me wrong, um, renting's no better because, I mean, renting in the short term, I've been an investor for a long time. I've been a business person for a long time. I've had multiple businesses. I had my first business when I was 18, 43 now. If you're just a single person and you don't even know where you're going in life and you're not married, renting for a short term is not a bad thing. Okay. You don't want to jump into owning a home if you're young and you don't even know what you're doing in life. you know if you're going to buy something at 18, 19, 20, renting at that age is not even a bad thing. Okay. You don't want to jump into buying a home if you're really young, um and sell it a year or two later, because you'll probably lose money in that case. Okay. You don't want to jump into buying a home super young. Renting at that age for a short period of time is actually not a bad thing. Okay. Because if you buy a home and you sell it a year or two later, you actually could lose money. You actually got to own a home in most cases for several years before you actually get any equity out of it, because of realtor fees, selling fees, closing costs, and stuff like that. Okay. So, if you're not going to stay in a home for some time, you're probably not going to get any equity out of it. So you got to be a little bit stable and stay in there to gain some equity. So you got to keep that in mind. Okay, so people think homes are always gaining in value, but not if you're going to sell it a really short time after. So you got to have some stability to gain money out of homes. Now we're not talking about flipping homes and fixing them up and selling them and that type of thing. But so if you're short term and renting, or you're young or something along those lines, renting's not bad. Renting's not bad in some cases. So take that with a grain of salt. But the problem here is that if you're a renter, these costs are being passed on to you. Okay, these costs are being passed on to you. So people are like, why are they raising rent? Why are they raising rent? These costs are being, you know, the homeowner or the owner, the landlord, whoever saw the same thing, they have to pay these costs. Okay. Costs are going up everywhere. This is just the reality right now. So I think a lot of people don't realize these. They're like, oh, they're raising my rent. They're raising my rent. And I am not in the real estate game as an investor. I don't want to really be a landlord. I think it's basically another business as opposed to you know, an investor per se, because I think it's more of a time suck. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I just have other friends and stuff that have been in real estate. I think it's more of a business than it is an investment. It just takes a lot of time that I don't have, you know. And when people have to raise rent, it's because a lot of times their costs go up. When property taxes are going up 20, 30, 40, 50%, they have to raise rent. There's just no way. They can't not raise rent. So a lot of people, I don't think, realize this stuff. So let me know your thoughts. I will keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. And make sure to subscribe down below, like these videos, share these videos if you haven't, and I'll keep you up to date. 46% of Americans are in trouble because of what just happened. Click here to see what that was. Thanks, and I'll see you in that video.